Fam, this show, out the gate they came out swinging first of all, but it came through like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. And just the way the story has developed and unfolded in these first 2 episodes, chef's kiss.
Woke up this morning, feeling that shine. Whole team got the glow, You can see it in the stride. Got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new. Got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new. Yeah.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy JusRzd, and today we are reviewing, finally reviewing episode 1 and episode 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Fam, this show is amazing. I'm not gonna hold you. I forgot how much I miss Daredevil. I forgot how much I miss Daredevil. Watching this show just brought back so many of the nostalgic feels. It's weird saying nostalgic about Daredevil. It feels like yesterday it was just debuting season 3 on Netflix, and it's just like, bro, this joint brought back all the feels, all the gritty action, the tones, the character work. Like it's just out the gate they came out swinging first of all, and just the way the story has developed and unfolded in these first 2 episodes, chef's kiss, because fam, hey. But it came through like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Type of, I'm on you wouldn't understand. Shout out to Kendrick. Bro, that joke was crazy. That joke was crazy, bro. Like, first of all, the episode starts out with a flashback that we don't know is a flashback at first. But we see, of course, Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige celebrating a night out on the town. Went to Josie's bar. A police officer is retiring after several years of service, and I believe he was a police captain too as well. But he's celebrating his retirement. You got like his partner over there talking to him like, why you quitting? He was like, man, I'm not quitting, I'm retired. It's a difference. And we pretty much see Foggy get a phone call. Everybody's enjoying themselves. We see Karen. We see Matt enjoying themselves. We see Foggy talking to another lawyer that works with the DA's office. That's a very good lawyer, apparently. And he gets a phone call. Goes outside and sees that his star witness for a specific trial that they're working on. I mean, a specific case that they're working on. Is in trouble. And not only is he in trouble, but he thinks somebody's at where he's at, just downstairs trying to break in to possibly unalive him. And Foggy's just like, nah, just stay there, you're tripping, you're tweaking, I'm right around the corner, I stashed you at my apartment. Mind you, he didn't tell Matt or Karen any of this. And we see pretty much it unfolds. Matt goes dressed up as the devil of Hell's Kitchen, of course, and he goes to check on the witness, and he tells Foggy to keep calling him while he's going, and Foggy keeps calling him, and dude's like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, he hears the guy break in the house to get at Buddy, and then he calls him again. Dude picks up the phone. He's like, I'm so sorry, he just wanted to know where you were, and then hung up the phone. And Foggy's like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what he's talking about. So him and Karen are just sitting outside of Josie's bar, just trying to figure out, super confused at what's going on. And we see Daredevil make it close to Foggy's apartment, and he hears what the witness says over the phone, but he also hears in the distance a gun being loaded and cocked and all that stuff. And so he's like, oh shoot. So he ends up going back to Josie's bar, but unfortunately, by the time he gets there, Foggy has been pretty much shot at this particular point, and a couple of the police officers at Josie's bar have been shot as well. And we see Bullseye arise from the smoke, throwing grenades in Josie's bar, and then we have a dope fight sequence between Daredevil as he arrives, and Bullseye in his outfit as well. And they just start giving each other the business. When I tell you they were giving each other the business. Like, they were giving each other hands and feet. Bullseye was throwing everything at Daredevil. Daredevil was being unrelentless. Bullseye makes it up to the roof. Daredevil ends up pretty much capturing him on the roof. And the whole time that they're fighting, he's hearing Foggy's heartbeat. It's still consistent, so he's still trying to deal with it. Mind you, Daredevil got blades and all type of little knives sticking out his costume because Bullseye been hitting him with everything. And he ends up throwing one of the blades at Bullseye's back, and that's how he caught him. So he's standing on top of the building, right on top of the building, and he hears Foggy's heart stop, and of course it's a sad moment. And he's crying out in agony. Karen's crying out in agony, and we see pretty much Bullseye starting to laugh now. He's satisfied and shows no remorse for what he's done. And Daredevil in that moment just like, you know what? I can't do this, and tosses Bullseye right on off the roof, and he hits the pavement with no helmet, no nothing. He hits the pavement. Surprisingly, he wasn't unalived in that moment. He actually survived, which is crazy. But of course, he's sitting there on the roof in agony, and we see the police captain that had just retired come up to the roof and see Matt, who has now taken off his helmet and pretty much tosses it over the edge of the roof, and he's just sitting there in agony because his best friend has been unalived, and his identity pretty much is outed to the police captain that made it to the roof. And then they fast forward a year, and we see pretty much the state of affairs of everything since a year since Foggy's passing. And we see pretty much Matt no longer donning the cowl, no longer donning the vigilanteism, no longer donning the Daredevil outfit, and he's pretty much there getting ready for the trial and the sentencing of Poindexter, who is Bullseye. And he's about to take the stand, which is, of course, right before the sentencing. And he ends up taking the stand, gives his testimony of everything. While he's giving his testimony, we see Karen pop up in the back of the courtroom, gives his testimony. We see Poindexter, aka Bullseye, get sentenced to 25, pretty much consecutive life sentences to be served consecutively based on each charge he was found guilty of, which it was a lot. So we see Daredevil and Karen pretty much have a conversation after the trial was over. She's moved to San Francisco, so she's no longer in New York. They haven't really spoken for real since Foggy's passing, and you could just kind of feel the tension in the air. Like, he was just like, yo, why'd you leave? And she's just like, yo, you left me first. Like, you left me for like 4 weeks, and I was looking for you, and I lost a friend too. Like, it was dope character work. I'm not gonna hold you. It was dope seeing that argument take place. And we see, of course, after the trial and everything, we see pretty much Fisk pretty much return to New York and return to his wife Vanessa, and now she's pretty much over all of his affairs as far as in the underworld, and he pretty much pitches her the plan to run for mayor. And he also just lets her know, like, look, I can't really be in the underworld, so that could be your thing, but I want to do this legitimate. And so he makes his stance for running for mayor, ends up winning, so he ends up becoming mayor. And pretty much you can feel the tension also with Vanessa and Kingpin. I love how they kind of paralleled Daredevil and Kingpin's story in these first 2 episodes. Like, both of their friends, well, one, Kingpin's wife, and then Daredevil and Karen, have both become estranged since them being gone and now them being back. And it's just like you can kind of feel the tension, you can feel the character growth and the character motivations and different things. And we see Kingpin kind of maneuver his way once he becomes mayor into just the different even before he becomes mayor, we can see him making moves behind the scenes. But once he becomes mayor, just making different moves and different plays on different people, especially the the police chief. We see him making different plays. The way Kingpin normally would make plays when it comes to surmising power and attaining power in situations. And he's pretty much using the same tactics he would have used in the underground in politics. And it's kind of funny, I ain't gonna hold you. And then we also see Matt just kind of dealing with everything that's going on in his world with Foggy. He has it shows the updated Nelson Murdoch and Page law firm, and just seeing everything that's going on there. And the police captain that knows his identity is now working with him, is like an investigator. And the very good lawyer that was working at the DA's office is now also working with him, and they're taking on cases and doing the best they can to clean up the city. And Daredevil gets exposed to this case of this quote-unquote cop unaliver. And I use quotations because he technically got into a fight with a bunch of undercover cops that didn't flash their badge until after they got beat up. And one of them just happened to trip off of the platform mid fight and get hit by a train. And so now they're saying that this man who happens, come to find out, to be White Tiger, has unalived a cop. And of course, anybody know anything about that whole trope when it comes to cop unalivers? The police force wants their head. And so they pretty much have been beating on this man and assaulting him ever since he's been in the police custody. And Matt overhears it, and he's like, yo, I want to represent you. And he's like, bro, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what's going on. I'm in pain. He was just like, look, all this happened. You know, Matt, he has a super hearing. So he's just like, yo, I know you're not lying about the fact that you didn't unalive this dude. You were trying to save them. You were trying to save somebody who's getting jumped by these cops. And in the process of doing so, one of them tripped off the platform and got hit by a train. And now they're framing you for being a cop unaliver. And so he's just like, he's telling and confessing everything. And then he was just like, are you telling me everything? Are you hiding anything from me? He's just like, nah. And Matt's like, I hear differently. I hear differently. And it come to find out, per further investigation throughout the episode, we see that Hector, the person he's representing, is actually White Tiger. And so he confronts him about the information. Then he brings it to the judge, because the judge pretty much denied him any parole and any bail. And so he pretty much, I love how they did the juxtaposition of Matt fighting crime, as well as him being in the law room, actually doing his job as a lawyer and a defense attorney. And yeah, it's kind of polarizing because he's taking on this case of pretty much a cop unaliver, which it kind of puts a target on his back and on his law firm's back. And so it's just interesting to see him take that risk and to just see him trudge forward, because he does know the truth. And he even talks about it with the police captain that's now the informant. That's not informant, but that's now his investigator. He's just like, yo, like, you know, because you know who I am. You know, I used to be the devil of Hell's Kitchen. You know that I know that he's telling the truth. He's like, yeah, I know that, but can you prove it? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what's true in the court of law. It's about what you can prove in the court of law. And so we see them kind of going back. The character work in these first two episodes was actually really fine. I thought that was dope. But just seeing them go back and forth and seeing them confront each other on different aspects, seeing the investigative work, seeing the law room aspect of it, and the corruptness in the cops. They end up finding where, Matt ends up finding where the new the witness from the platform that Hector saved. He finds out where he is, so he goes to visit him. He's like, yo, I heard. Well, he couldn't tell him he heard. He was like, look, there's some people on the way here. I need you to leave. Go up the fire escape. I'll handle it. Goes up the fire escape. The police come in. He's like, oh shoot, they're already here. And they come in, they knock on the door, and of course they recognize him from the courtroom. And he's just like, yeah, the witness that Hector saved from the platform, he's gone. And he was just like, well, where is he? He was just like, bro, I'm blind. I'd be happy to help though. I'm visually impaired, but I'd be happy to help. I thought it was hilarious. And the two cops get mad. They have like a odd Punisher skull tattoo on their forearms, and they pretty much beat up Matt. And Matt's like, yo, don't do this, because one cop whispers to the other cop, all right, let's just do it. And he's like, yo, he's a lawyer. He was like, just do it. And Matt's like, nah, please don't do it. He's just sitting on his knees like, you don't have to do this. We could find another way. They put the gun up to his head. Instantly, Daredevil kicks back in. Matt snaps right back into action and beats the brakes off of those two police officers. I don't know if one looked like he knocked out. He definitely got his arm broke. The other one, he slammed him on his neck. I don't know if he's paralyzed or if he's unalived at this point. But he put hands and feet on both of those brothers. And then the second episode ends with him yelling into the screen, yelling into the camera. And yo, these two episodes have been fire. We also got introduced to a new love interest for Matt Murdock. He was set up by his good lawyer friend that's now working at the firm with them, with her therapist friend, and she thought both of them would make a good little couple. And it turns out that the love interest is starting to brew, but she's also now becoming the couples therapist for Kingpin and Vanessa, because now they're getting into couples therapy, which that scene right there was very reminiscent of Sopranos to me, and I just thought that character work was really, really dope. And shout out to I want to say his name is Michael Gandolfini. I know it's James Gandolfini's son. I just don't remember if his name is Michael or not. But he plays pretty much somebody who's working under Kingpin, who's like very ambitious and trying to pretty much gain favor with Kingpin in his mayoral run. And yeah, I just thought both two episodes were super dope. The green screen CGI work in the opening sequence was a little it was a little spotty in certain spots, but the way they got Daredevil not flying, but like swinging through the air with his grapple is super comic booky in a way. But I love the fact that they are it's really not a but. I love the fact that they got that in there to give it that comic book flair. Like the same way he was flipping around and super acrobatic in She-Hulk, it's like they brought that into Daredevil Born Again. But it's even with that campiness and that comic bookiness, it's still keeping the same gritty undertones that the Netflix Daredevil series had as well. And the different sequences and fight sequences and how it's like one long fight sequence going through. It was dope. Like the opening sequence, that long fight scene going through Josie's bar with them going up the hallway, up the stairs, all the way to the roof. That was fire. And man, Bullseye was giving Daredevil all he could muster, as well as Daredevil giving all hands and feet to Bullseye. It was dope. So I'll probably give these two episodes probably give them a 9 out of 10 for real. I give them a 9 out of 10. Episode 1 really set the precedence of everything with the character work and everything like that. Like that's how that is definitely what I will say. It's definitely, they take it there, and it's definitely probably their best pilot that they've dropped on Disney Plus on the Marvel side. So it was definitely dope. I give episode 1 a 10 out of 10, episode 2 a 9 out of 10, even though I thought both were done very, very well. Actually, not gonna hold you. I'm gonna edit that. 2 10s out of 10s. I gotta give it 2 10s out of 10 because it's not really anything. Excuse me. It's not really anything that I could think that could have been better in episode 1 or 2 outside of the CG work. So maybe a 9.5 out of 10. in the first episode, and then a 10 out of 10 in the second episode. So anyway, I know I changed it like 3 different times. So 9.5 first episode, 10 out of 10 for the second episode. But yeah, man, let me know in the comments below if y'all are rocking with Daredevil Born Again, if you tapped in with it, if you haven't tapped in with it, if you're gonna wait for all the episodes to premiere before you tap in with it. I would suggest you stay off the internet if you're gonna do that, because you will probably get spoiled. But if you've watched it, if you tapped in, definitely comment below what were your favorite parts of episode 1 and episode 2. I am thoroughly locked in, which I knew I would be, to this particular series. We will be reviewing it on this particular channel. And we definitely got more surprises on the way this month. But I got some breaking special news for you guys this particular month that I will be talking about in a later video. But don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in, stay tuned in, stay locked in, and never forget, it's FreeSoul to the show free. Let's get it.